Hey everyone, back for part two of surface area of prisms and pyramids. All right, so we just finished talking about prisms. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about the surface area of pyramids. So it's almost exactly like prisms because what we're going to have is we're going to have the area of one base, right? Because prism or pyramids sit on a base and then they go up to a point, usually at the top. Could be upside down, could be something that is like an inverted pyramid. But only have one base, and then we're going to have the areas of each of the lateral faces, which basically means all of the triangles that form that point at the top. So, which, like I said, is just like what we did for prisms. Surface area equals area of all the faces added together. That's the bases and the lateral faces. So we're basically doing the same thing. Now, I like pyramids a little bit better than prisms, just because you're going to have with a square pyramid or with a regular pyramid, whether it's square or triangular, all of the triangle lateral faces, all the triangle parts, are going to be exactly the same size. So basically, you just have to find the area of one of those triangles and then multiply it times 4 and add it to the base, is kind of the quick way of doing this. All right, so let's get started. First, by looking at what the base of this number 5 square pyramid looks like. So we have the base down here. It's a 4 by 4. Remember, it says square, so you know that 4 and 4 have to be the same. And I have to wait for my picture to catch up. There we go. Finally, it caught up. All right, so we've got 4 yards on the front part of my square, and then I've got 4 over here on this side, so that covers the entire base. All right, so we're going to find the area of the base, which, like I said, is a square, so 4 by 4. So that makes, if you can't remember what 4 times 4 is, we get 16. And we're going to hang on to that because I'm going to need to add that to the area of my triangles. All right, so now the areas of my triangles are going to kind of look like this. So here's what the net looks like when I open this whole thing up. I have my square base, right? There's my 4 right there, 4 by 4, sorry. And then I'm going to have the 4 triangles are going to come off. Oops. And hopefully they're going to actually touch the edges of that square base. All right, so it kind of looks like that a little bit. Not the best picture I've ever drawn, but like I said, each one of these triangles coming off of the rectangular part or the base they're all going to be the same, and that's because we want that pyramid, unless it tells you otherwise. When it says a regular pyramid, we know that all of the pieces are going to be equal to it. So now all I have to do is I have to find the lateral area. Okay, remember, lateral area means the 4 triangles. So lateral means anything that's not a base. Oy. The 4 triangles, there we go, which I don't think I need an apostrophe, but anyway. So the 4 triangles is what we're looking for. So that's the lateral area. So lateral area means anything but the base. When I say surface area, I want the whole thing, every part. All right, so these triangles are all isosceles triangles, okay, because they meet up at the top in the middle. So that means that each one of them has to have the same dimensions. So what are those dimensions? Well, it shows me in my picture, this piece right here, it shows me the 6 coming down the side. Now, we call that the slant height. Slant height. It's slanting down the outside of the shape. It's not the inside height. When you just say height or the altitude of a square pyramid, you're talking about the height from the very bottom base all the way perpendicular from that base to the tippy top. So what we want is we actually want this slanted outside section here. And then if you want to get really complicated, you can actually use Pythagorean theorem to figure out what that base is, but that takes a lot of work. So right now we're just going to focus on having this slant height. All right, so in my triangle, I know that I've got 6 as my height, And then the base of my triangle is the 4 that we just found a second ago, right? We know that that dimension on the bottom where the triangle meets the square is a dimension of 4. All right, so we're going to use that base and height to find my area. All right, so I'm going to go 6 times 4 divided by 2. That's how we find the area of one triangle. This one you can, find a shortcut also, but I'm going to show you the full parts, and then you can use your shortcut. All right, so 24 divided by 2 equals 12. And then I'm going to take the 12, and since I have 4 total triangles, right, 4 triangles total, I'm going to multiply that 12 that was for one triangle times 4, which equals 48. All right, so I'm going to use that 16 and the 48 to find my overall surface area. So you can do the lateral area of each individual base and add those together, the 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12, same as 24, or sorry, same as 48. So you might as well go ahead and just do it all together in one step. All right, so last step, my surface area is going to be 16 plus 48, right? My area of my base plus the area of all 4 of those triangle sides. And when I add those together, I get 64 square yards is my surface area. That's my final area right there, 64 square yards. Don't forget the squared part on your units, and always use units. All right, this last one here, this triangular pyramid, number 6, what I want to do is I want to kind of do the same parts. I want to do the same idea, except this time it was a little more tricky because we have a triangle base, which really doesn't complicate too much, but we have to know the area of that triangle base. So if you notice right here, they give me the area of the base. Okay, so the base triangle has an area of 27.7. So we're going to use that to add to the area of my triangles that are the lateral faces, the ones that go up to the point at the top. All right, once again, you can also turn these and flip them different directions. Still, you need to know which one you're going to use for the base. If they're all triangles, might make it a little bit more challenging, but the surface area is never going to change. Okay, the overall surface area of a shape is not going to change whether I turn it upside down or sideways or whatever. Okay, all right, so here I go now. I'm going to do the area of the triangles. So just real quick, I'm going to show you again what this looks like. So I'm making just some random triangle. So it does say it's a regular pyramid. So that means that all 4 sides, or excuse me, 3 sides of my triangle have to be all congruent. Okay, that's how that works. That means that the bases have to all have congruent sides. All right, and then we're going to have the triangles coming off of it. So a triangular pyramid is going to look like this shape, okay, with all these parts. So this time I don't have 4 triangle lateral areas, right? 4 triangles that make up that go up to the point. Now I only have 3, so that'll be nice. Lateral area is going to be my 3 triangles on the outside, right? So the front and the right, and then the one in the back that we can't really see very well. All right, so what are those triangles' dimensions? Once again, I'm going to look at my figure, and I'm going to find my height. So my slant height right here on the outside that goes down the middle of that triangle. So it's 9, and then the base over here tells me it's 8. So really, each side of that base triangle has a side of 8. So 8, 8, and 8 is the base of that triangle. All right, here we go. So I'm going to do 9 times 8 divided by 2. Okay, so I get 72 divided by 2, which makes 36. And then I'm going to take my 36 and I'm going to multiply it times 3, because remember, we're going to have 3 total triangles. Triangles total. So when I multiply that, I get 108 is the area of all 3 of those triangles that meet up at the point. Okay, so now we just take all those pieces and we put them together. So my surface area is going to be 27.7, that was the area of the base, plus my 108, which is all three of the triangles. And when I add those together, I get 135.7 square feet. All right, so it looks like that. All right, now the last one that I have on this page, number 7, is for you to practice the square pyramid. Typically, we don't really use triangular pyramids very often. Square pyramids are going to be the norm. But you do need to understand that there are pieces that you can put together of a triangular pyramid or any other type of pyramid. We could have a pentagonal pyramid. We could have an octagonal pyramid. We could have all kinds of other ones, different bases. You just have to know the area of the base. So we try to stick with the square, rectangular pyramid, maybe a triangular pyramid, but you have to be really careful about those. So we're going to stick with just the basics. So we're going to do the square pyramid. So I'm going to take a second. I'm going to pause the video so that you can work on, oops, I realized I didn't finish that. So you can work on number 7 on your own, and then you can check back and see if you're on the right track. All right, so take a 5-second break. I'm going to pause the video for a second, and then I'm going to show you what I did on number 7. All right, here's what I got for my area of my base, and then the lateral area, which is the area of the 4 triangles that make up the sides. Any lateral area remembers anything that's not a base. So now all I have to do is I have to put it all together for my surface area. So I have 49 plus 140, and when I add those together, oops, sorry, ran myself out of space, 189 square meters. All right, which is my total surface area. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to post a worksheet that has some extra practice problems for you to practice. And then in the next set of videos, we're going to be working on cylinders and cones. When it has that curved part, makes it a little more difficult. These are just flat, straight faces and bases, so we didn't have any issues with that. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you at office hours.